welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sadhana. Nice of you to drop by. So last Thursday, the 17th of December, was A-level results day, and I wanted to talk to you about my A-level journey and kind of the sequence of events leading up to results day round 2 and the outcome of it as well. So a bit of background information. I did A-levels in biology, chemistry and maths. Last year I applied to medicine and I applied to 3 medical schools. I applied to Imperial College London, the University of Leeds and the University of Cardiff. And I applied to 2 unis for biomed. I applied to King's College London and University of Bath. I spent year 10 and year 11 in the US, so I didn't really have GCSEs, and I was told by the school that it wouldn't hinder my applications anywhere. So I got rejected without interview from Leeds and Cardiff. And then I managed to get offers from both King's and Bath for biomed, and then an interview, and then eventually an offer from Imperial for medicine, which is really exciting. I got my Imperial offer around March. I was over the moon and I couldn't wait. But then of course,
exams will not take place as planned in May and June, though we will make sure that pupils get the qualifications they need and deserve for their academic career.
Liar!
So this essentially meant that we had to put a lot of faith and trust into our teachers to determine our grades, and then they'd send those grades off to the government, who'd put it through an algorithm to make sure that everything is kind of fair.
And I'm afraid your grades were almost derailed by a mutant algorithm.
So when all of these announcements were happening, I was kind of panicking a little bit. I was kind of thinking in my head that this is too good to be true, and I was really worried and stressed. The period between March and August was just such a chaotic time for me, and I remember feeling so anxious and restless throughout those few months, and I couldn't wait for A-level results day on the 13th of August.
Round 1.
So I had firmed Imperial and I had insured King's. My offer for Imperial was A-star AA, and the A-star could be in either biology or chemistry. For King's, my offer was for AAB in any subject in any order. In the morning, I woke up, I got ready, went downstairs, sat at the table, opened my laptop, and my twin sister was also going through it with me. I remember we were sitting there watching Avatar: The Last Airbender because we were quite stressed. We were told that the results would come out at around 8 o'clock. We were waiting since 7:30, just kind of keeping the UCAS page open. 8 o'clock came around and I had a weird feeling in my stomach, and I felt like something wasn't quite right. So I looked down at my screen and I noticed that UCAS had conveniently crashed. Great start to the day, but then I refreshed it again and again and again. Then suddenly the page reloaded and it was there. And I looked at my sister and I was like, oh, it's loaded. And she was like, oh, really? And she was still trying hers. Hers wasn't loading, but mine had thankfully loaded on time. I couldn't really see my results yet. I just remember seeing like the top screen. And I scrolled down a little bit and it said, congratulations. And I thought, oh, your place at King's College London has been confirmed. Oh, so I thought, oh, cool, I've gotten into King's. But what about Imperial? So I scrolled down a little bit and I looked under the section that said unsuccessful or withdrawn, and there it was at the top of the list. Imperial College London, your application was unsuccessful due to the fact that you did not meet your offer requirements. I was in shock. I was a bit hysterical. I started laughing, which was a great coping mechanism. My family were thinking that I'd gone insane, which I probably had. My sister, thankfully, got into her firm. It was just a very chaotic and confusing 30 minutes. No one really knew how to react. And I felt so defeated, especially because I'd come so far, I'd crossed so many hurdles. I mean, from the BMAT to getting the predicted grades I need, to getting an interview, to doing well in the interview and eventually getting an offer. There were just so many hurdles that I had to cross, and just to see it all crumble at the last step was just so disappointing. But I hadn't actually seen what results I'd got yet. So we drove down to the gates of hell and I went to the big hall with all the envelopes. I picked up mine with my name on it and I went outside and I sat on a bench and I opened it and I looked down and it said A for maths, B for biology, B for chemistry.
That's rough, buddy.
So I'd missed my Imperial offer by not 1, not 2, but 3 whole grades. And I'd actually missed my King's offer by 1 grade, but they were nice enough to still offer me a place. So in my head I was thinking, well, I should be thankful. At least I've got a university place. I could see so many people had to go through clearing and they weren't as lucky as me, and at least I've got somewhere to go next year. At least I've got a place and I don't need to rely on the uncertainty of clearing. And King's is a great university and biomedical sciences course is an amazing course. But I knew in my heart that's not what I wanted to do. There was still a little bit of me that wanted to fight and wanted to keep going. So I went to the room where you could ask for help.
I need somebody.
They said that I could request my centre assessed grades. So I sent the email in to the school and I requested the grades that my teachers had given me, because the ABB was the government grades after the algorithm. I opened my centre assessed grades and I saw that it said an A for maths, great, that hadn't changed. I was happy with the A for maths, and an A for biology, so that had gone down, and a B for chemistry. Now, as someone who found chemistry to be their favourite subject, who thought that they were quite strong in chemistry, I was a bit disappointed that I got a B. Don't get me wrong, I was not hoping for an A star, because if either science teacher had given me an A star, I probably would have felt like I didn't deserve it. But I was certainly not hoping for a B. And I know that sounds arrogant, but I know the level I was working at and I know that I was on my way to at least an A. And to see that the teachers or whoever determined my grades at the school thought that I was worth a B was just very heartbreaking. But I couldn't really do much else about the grades at that time, so I just took it on the chin and we drove back home. And when I got home, I was thinking, even if I appeal my biology grade, it's going to be AAB at the most. And there's no way that they're going to accept me with anything less than 3 A's. So I thought, just give up on Imperial at this point, Sadhana. Just take King's for Biomed and apply as a postgrad. You'll go to medical school someday, but it's just not going to be this year. And at that point, I was ready to completely give up. I was ready to go onto the King's website and accept my place. But then I got a text from my friend that said, maybe call them and beg. And I was like, you know what, I might beg, but I was a bit worried that their lines were going to be so clogged up because it's results day and everyone must be calling. But luckily, apparently, I was the first person to call. And I got on the phone line and I asked them, are you taking resits? Are you taking appeals? And they said, yes, this is the first year that we're accepting resits. And I was like, oh, okay, so there's some hope. I could resit the exam in next summer. And they were like, but we're also accepting the autumn exam. And at that time, I'd completely forgotten about the triple lock. The government had said something about there being a triple lock. They do love their threes, don't they? But the first lock was the grades that the government gave. The second lock was your mock grades. And the third lock was the autumn exams. And I just remembered then that I could take the autumn exams. And I was thinking, but I'm not prepared because I've only got less than 2 months for the exams. Can I do it? And I thought it's worth a try. And they said that if I get the grades that I needed by the autumn exams, then they'll be able to offer me a place for entry in 2021. And I thought, okay, that seems fair, I can do that. The very next day, I sat down outside in the garden with all my biology and chemistry textbooks, ready to get my grades up. I wanted to get my chemistry grade obviously up to at least an A, and hopefully biology up to an A star, but I was more confident in chemistry than I was in biology, but I thought it's worth a try to do both. I didn't really want to put all my eggs in one basket at that time. And then a couple of days go by, and I get an email from the school saying that there was a moderation error with my grades for chemistry, and they actually meant for my grade to be an A, not a B. So they sent an appeal down to AQA and they were hoping for a reply soon. And this gave me some hope. I was like, maybe I'll get my grades up to AAB now. And then I think the next day or a couple of days later, the government announced the U-turn. So this meant that my A-level grades went up from ABB to AAB. So it was one step in the right direction, and now it could possibly also go up to AAA because of the appeal for chemistry. And it did. A week or so later, I got an email from the school saying that AQA had moved my chemistry grade up to an A because of the moderation error, and now my grades were 3 A's. So that meant that I missed Imperial by 1 grade. And I went onto their website and they said that if you're a near miss, let us know and we will reconsider your application and we'll see what we can do. So I was like, that's me. That's me. I'm a near miss. I missed it by just 1 grade. So I emailed them and I said, is it possible for you to reconsider my application? My grades were AAA and I needed an A star. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it. Would it be possible for you to reconsider my application? I was hoping it wasn't too late, but it was. They said, unfortunately, their course for medicine was oversubscribed, and if I wish to be reconsidered, I have to apply through UCAS again and take either the autumn or the summer exams and get the grades by then. I thought, fine, at least I tried, but we move. So I carried on revising, and then I later realised that juggling both biology and chemistry was a bit hard, and at the end of the day now I only needed 1 A star, I didn't need 2. So I was thinking, maybe this is the time to put all my eggs in one basket. Maybe this is the time to just shoot for something, aim for it and get it. So I decided to drop biology and I decided to continue on with chemistry. I think that's the best decision I ever made, because I continued on, and 5 weeks later I sat my first exam for chemistry and it went well. And the week after that I did paper 2, the week after that I did paper 3. I think slowly, paper after paper, I was more unsure of myself. And I think that's something that I've struggled with the whole A-level journey. I was very unsure and insecure about myself, but this was the one chance to prove myself I can do it. And then cut to last Thursday, the 17th of December.
Round 2.
I was told that my chemistry result was going to be emailed to me and I didn't need to go into school for anything. And it was going to be emailed to me around 8 a.m. I remember the whole night before, I couldn't sleep, but I was feeling cautiously optimistic and more hopeful. I mean, I'd only waited 126 days, but I couldn't wait 8 more hours to sleep. So I was up the whole night, rolling around in bed, doing some reading, playing Connect 4, scrolling through Instagram, trying to pass the time. It was 7:30 and I'd been awake since 3 a.m. My eyes were kind of feeling a bit droopy, but then my alarm went off to wake me up. I didn't need it because I was already awake. I went back to bed, laid down and stared at the ceiling. And it was 8 o'clock, my alarm went off again. I sat upright on my bed and I refreshed my email. Still nothing. I was thinking, maybe the school's forgotten about me, because I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I'm kidding. But lo and behold, 15 minutes late at 8:15, that rhymed, I refreshed my email and I got an email from the school saying, "Dear Seldner, here are your autumn exam grades." And I tapped on it and it had my mark breakdown, which I couldn't be bothered to look at. I clicked straight on the PDF document that said my grade, and I looked at it and it said A star. And at that moment I was so relieved and also kind of surprised. I jumped out of bed, I ran and I told my parents. I was like, "I've got an A," and they were like, "What?" I was like, "Sorry, I've got an A star, just kidding." They were all over the moon, and yeah, I was really happy. But I'd definitely be lying if I said that I did it all by myself. I did get a lot of help throughout the whole process. I had a wonderful chemistry tutor who helped me understand concepts that I didn't really understand in the lessons at school, and who helped me cram the whole A-level chemistry content in 2 months, which I'm really thankful for. I have an amazing family and amazing family friends who support me through everything. I feel like I'm giving an Oscar speech. Thank you so much for this place at a medical school.
It came true.
But honestly, I think I'm still in shock. I haven't slept properly since, because I've just been so shocked. And if I was being completely honest, I've tried to film this video on results day, but I was just so sleepy and also so empty before that I didn't know how to react.
Started making it, had a breakdown. Bon appetit.
But now I'm happy, and I'm glad that I finally reached the goal that I was working towards. And all I can say is, bring on the future. I can't wait to start medical school. It's really exciting to think that I'm going to be a medical student. And yeah, I'm really excited and happy. I just wanted to say though, for those of you who did the autumn exams with me, regardless of what you got, even if you didn't get what you wanted, I think this process shows a lot about our characters, and it really highlights the people that are the most resilient. And honestly, well done to you if you took the autumn exams, because it was not easy preparing 2 whole years of content in 2 months. And I think we all deserve a pat on the back, and onwards and upwards. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please do consider subscribing if you want to see more content from me. And yeah, bye.
And I'm very, very glad that it has finally been sorted out.